While humans are busy decorating their houses and buying candies and chocolates for Halloween, this tiny creature is waiting to have a little taste of human blood. The devil is here. One time, a man collapsed and died suddenly without warning on the night of Halloween. Examiners found rashes on the man's back and chest. His family believed that the rashes were from getting scratched while picking berries outdoors. Little did they know, the man was actually bitten by a tiny vampire, a black-legged tick that carries Lyme disease, a deadly infection that kills hundreds of people every year. As scary as it sounds, black-legged ticks are just one of about 90 tick species found in the US. All of them suck blood, all of them can carry diseases, and all of them are incredibly difficult to kill. These species of ticks are literally the descendants of Dracula. Being a tick isn't easy. Ticks are arachnid parasites that cling to their host for several days, stuff themselves with blood, and grow to up to 600 times their original size. That's gotta hurt. Although small in size, these nasty survivors can cause very big problems by spreading dangerous diseases. So what makes these little pricks so powerful anyway? First things first, ticks are not insects. Surprised? Yeah, it's true. Ticks are actually arachnids, as I mentioned before. This means they are more closely related to spiders than they are to flies or mosquitoes. They even look a lot like spiders. They have 4 pairs of legs, no antennae, and importantly, they don't fly or jump either. Instead, when ticks are ready to feed, they usually camp out on blades of grass or other foliage where they wait for a human or animal to come to them. This strategy is called questing. By using their 3rd and 4th pairs of legs for stability, they stretch out their first set of legs and latch on to the unsuspecting host. From there, some ticks might crawl around until they find a thin area of skin near a small blood vessel where it's easier to extract blood. Adult ticks are approximately 3 to 5 millimeters in length, depending on age, sex, species, and fullness, meaning how much blood they've consumed. The typical response to finding a tick is often disgust. This is partly because ticks are external parasites and they feed on their host's blood, as you already know. Although people find ticks most often on themselves and their pets, ticks also attack wild animals, farm animals, birds, and reptiles. On top of that, some ticks, particularly females, swell dramatically when they ingest a lot of blood. An engorged tick, or one that's full of blood, can have a bizarre, even grotesque appearance. A tick's body is relatively flat, so it's easy for it to attach itself to a host and eat its fill before the host notices. This is particularly true for immature ticks, which can be smaller than the period at the end of a sentence. And hungry adult ticks are often smaller than sesame seeds. Some ticks have also adapted to blend into their host's bodies by disguising themselves as skin tags and moles. Many ticks have to stay in the same place for a day or more to finish sucking up their meal of blood, so the ability to go unnoticed is central to its survival. They secretly cut through your skin without you noticing. Ticks use their mouth parts to pierce their host's skin and extract blood. These parts can vary from species to species, but in general, from the outside to the inside, a tick's mouth includes the following: 2 palps, which move out of the way during feeding and don't pierce the skin, 2 chelicerae, which saw through the skin, and a barbed, needle-like hypostome. The barbs on the hypostome are like the barbs on a fishhook. They point back toward the tick, making it difficult to remove the tick without damaging the skin. Some ticks are known to secrete a cement-like substance with their saliva, which dissolves when the tick is ready to drop off of its host. This substance can make it even harder to remove the feeding tick. The saliva also keeps the host's blood from clotting while the tick eats. But unlike a flea's saliva, tick saliva doesn't include the compounds that cause itching and swelling. At its most basic, a tick is pretty much just a parasitic blood pump. Like all parasites, it feeds off of its host without giving the host anything in return. Ungrateful prick. They spread multiple diseases. A freshly hatched tick might be free from disease, but as soon as it takes a meal from an infected animal, it becomes a potential disease vector. In fact, ticks can carry more diseases than any other arthropod in the world. Their efficiency at spreading infection comes from the way they feed. Many tick species feed on at least 3 hosts before they die. If one host is sick, the tick can carry the infection to the other hosts. Ticks also have to keep their mouthparts embedded in the host's skin for hours, even days before they can finish their meal. This means pathogens have plenty of time to make their way into the host's body. The diseases ticks transmit vary from place to place. This is because different animals and their species-specific diseases thrive in different parts of the world. But it doesn't stop tick-borne illnesses from spreading outside of a particular area. Some of the diseases that can be transmitted by ticks are Lyme disease, anaplasmosis, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, tularemia, and so many more. How do you get rid of them? Well, ticks are found all over the world. They are in your house, in your garden, on your pets, and they are hard to kill. If you know, you know. These suckers can live for days without food. An adult American dog tick can live for up to 2 years. That shows how tough they are. So to reduce the chance of being bitten by this nasty creature, you have to keep your living area clean and airy. Tick bites can transfer diseases to your animals, so it's a good idea to keep your pets indoors whenever you can. These pricks are dog lovers too. Be sure to use insect repellent spray when hiking in high tick density areas. It's also good to check yourself thoroughly as soon as you get home. You don't want any of those tiny bloodsuckers to enter your house. And if you do find a tick in the house, don't bother stepping on it, as its body is actually pretty hard and tough. Instead, pick it up with a piece of toilet paper and flush it down the toilet. Or you can give it a dose of hydrogen peroxide straight into the body, baby. Oh no! It will explode like the fireworks on the 4th of July. Well, not really like that, but trust me, this tick definitely deserves it. Last but not least, if the infestation is too severe to handle, just consider bombing the damn house and leaving. I mean, there's really nothing else you can do. Controlling the tick population is pretty much impossible. You know what's funny? There is a movie out there called Tick Hero. Like, what? Why would you choose a tick to be the hero of your movie? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss anything from Wildpedia. Oh yeah, and happy Halloween too.